Now, the cloud-based storages enable the metadata and content storages for platforms and also for consumers, without which you might not be able to see that sort of fast development in terms of the digital business around the world. The blockchain cryptocurrencies technologies reducing the privacy risk and at the same time provided a safer real-time information exchanges as well as payment protection. So people worry about when you do something, paying something on the net, that will be not secure, but with this, it will be helping us to having a safer mind as well, to be doing more things on the net. The 5D technologies, of course, they will enable the fast real-time network data transfer, which Korea is the first country we are launching the 5G to consumer. I can remember it's actually 2 weeks ago, which is a little bit faster than the US counterpart. Now, people always say think globally but act locally. For all the global media players, they included exclusivities and local elements as the key weapons to win their battle. In the beginning, we talked about foreign content, basically talking about subtitling, doubling to the original, but now it's more talking about the local content productions. Netflix, last year, they're spending about $8 billion US to invest into the originals and also local content production. And then 2019, the news saying that they're going to invest 13 billion into the investment of originals, exclusive originals, and also local production, which including the Korean dramas, movies production, and also other local content of other countries like in Indonesia and Malaysia. That will be really sort of making the whole industry very excited. Amazon, Google, Apple, they're all talking about the origins and also talking about local content, which if you look at every one, all those big players are looking into investing into it. You will be making the growth of the digital media business and industry growing much faster. While within this global players in competitions, it will be making us to learn fast, making us to grow fast. Direct relationship with consumer is another key factors or key drivers which are making the growth of our business. All the D2C streaming platforms are aiming to establish a close direct relationship with consumer. For example, Warner Media launching the streaming platforms. The major objective is to get a closer direct relationship with consumers. Disney or the Disney Plus basically trying to achieve the same things. They want to achieve the first-hand feedback on user experience and preferences. And the collection of this real-time data, which are useful for them to having the big data analysis to develop effective and impactful decision and strategies. What I learned from one of my ex-colleagues who are now with Netflix, they're saying Netflix is actually even for the lawyers. When they are joining some meetings and then having some negotiation in terms of the deals, they are using the big data to do analysis so that they can make a effective deal. So if even lawyers have to do that, then in terms of the producer, in terms of people designing on the platform, outlook and everything, the menu, so he has to be looking at the big data analysis and knowing what the consumer. Very successful in Korea, and then the IPTVs and all these OTT platforms with the shortening windows, growing the business, the OTT, the digital business in Korea in a few fronts. And while our company is actually, also I believe the other studios are also looking into taking this strategy and then testing it out to the other parts of the world to see whether that also applies. Of course, by doing so, you need to gain a lot of consumer insight. You need to understand the motive why consumers are sort of willing to pay more with a shorter window, because it's not necessarily every country, all the consumers are willing to do so. Korea is kind of one of the countries who is seeing it as actually if you are able to offer more benefit to the consumer this time, shorter window, Koreans are willing to pay more to buy the services. So that is a good sort of indication to the content owner and also the platforms to how we are going to deliver our content to the consumer. But boil down to everything is consumer focus. Consumer, the preferences and the habits are the ultimate drivers of the digital growth. Without focusing back to consumers, I don't believe that actually the growth will be speeding up or growing faster. All the drivers actually will be, like I talked about before, technology, everything, they are basically aiming to achieving a satisfactory user experience for the consumer. You're taking the example of Apple. Apple is used to famous for their closed ecosystem. They don't want other people to get into theirs. But the recent announcement, Apple is willing to break their walled garden to allow consumer using devices, third-party services outside the Apple ecosystem to viewing their streaming contents. For example, in the Samsung Smart TV. As this is why they're doing it. If they're not doing so, they will be hindering their growth. Which, because the consumer prefer to, for example, watching a movie, besides on the cinemas, they also prefer to watching it on the big screen, on TVs. If Apple continues or only limited the devices and then not follow the trend of the consumer habits and preferences, they will be only limited their own growth. While all the other possibly competitors, Netflix, Warner Media, Disney Plus, and all those, they are going towards that direction. And Google, the announcing of the cloud-based streaming is basically because with the streaming and 5G, they are able to provide consumer a better, higher quality of gaming, and then the consumer can play it on all their devices. Instead of nowadays that you're still having, in terms of you're playing for high quality, complicated sort of a gaming, you might still want to play it on a console because the technologies hasn't really sort of developed to that level. But with the 5G, the cloud-based gaming, they're basically so everywhere you go, you can really start having the same experience, high quality gaming experience that just like you're playing in the with the console. And that is the consumer prefer having a creative and good content. Is people talk about content is king. Without good content, we are not able to really solve it. The consumer will not be satisfied. Everything boils down, we look at the reasoning. I don't know how many of you has been watching the first episode of Game of Thrones Season 8. I think on the first day that there are 17.4 million consumers viewing that online, which remarkably seeing it that would be exciting. And recently, look at the box office also, at the same time, the adventures and the games. In China, the 2 days, the box office is 138 million US dollars. And a lot of the cinema tickets are sold out. So it boils down with everything, with good content, and also in consumer focused platforms will be really sort of deliver much higher growth for our industry. Thank you very much.